Welcome to Numismatics Hub, your ultimate destination for fascinating stories, rare coin discoveries, and all things numismatics. Join us as we explore the world of currency and uncover hidden treasures one coin at a time. Imagine the year is 1957. A time when rock and roll was taking over the airwaves, the world was still recovering from the aftermath of World War II, and the economy was beginning to roar back to life in post-war America. Amidst all this, there's one small piece of American history that would soon become a legend, a coin that, in time, would go on to captivate collectors and enthusiasts alike. That coin is the 1957 USA 5-cent penny. It's easy to overlook a coin like the 1957 5-cent piece. After all, it's just a nickel, right? But what if I told you that this seemingly ordinary penny has an extraordinary story? A story that stretches from the depths of history to a staggering modern-day valuation that could make you rethink everything you thought you knew about coins. Let's take a step back to 1957 and begin with a look at the historical context. This was a decade full of innovation and growth in the United States. In 1957, the country was on the brink of tremendous change, both culturally and politically. The post-war baby boom was in full swing, and people were beginning to find their footing after the tumult of the Great Depression and World War II. The Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union was gaining momentum, and the space race was beginning to take shape. At this time, the design of the 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, had remained relatively unchanged for decades. The familiar Monticello building, a symbol of American heritage, had adorned the reverse side of the coin since 1938, while the obverse featured the bust of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, a founding father whose influence on the country remains indelible. These elements are iconic to American currency, but in 1957, something would happen that would make a particular batch of these coins stand out. The 1957 coin you're about to learn about wasn't just another nickel minted in Philadelphia or Denver. No, the 1957 had something special about it, something that would propel it into the spotlight. Let's get into the details of the coin itself, starting with the minting process. The D on the coin represents the Denver Mint, one of the key mints in the United States responsible for producing coins. The 1957 was struck at this mint, which is crucial because it gives us a first clue about why this coin is special. The Denver Mint, along with its counterparts in Philadelphia and San Francisco, was churning out millions of coins each year. However, the minting process for each coin was unique, with slight variations that were often overlooked by the public. These small differences are what later made the 1957 5-cent penny such an important and rare piece. What truly elevates the 1957 coin, however, isn't just the minting process. It's the circumstances surrounding that particular year. 1957 wasn't just any other year for the United States Mint. In fact, the 1957 coin was part of a batch of nickels that went into circulation when the country was experiencing a bit of a coin shortage. Due to the rising cost of materials and the economic demand for metal, the United States Mint began to adjust its production methods in subtle ways. These changes led to slight variations in the strike quality and in some of the individual features on these coins. As time went on, collectors began to notice that certain 1957 nickels exhibited distinct characteristics that set them apart from the average batch. These nickels featured notable variations in the design details, particularly in the lettering, the date, and the Monticello building on the reverse side. These unique variations would eventually make them highly sought after by numismatists, but the coin was not initially recognized for its potential rarity. In the 1960s and 1970s, the world of coin collecting began to explode, and the demand for rare, high-quality coins surged. With it came an increased focus on mint errors, die varieties, and small changes that could make a coin worth far more than its face value. That's when the 1957 5-cent penny started to get attention. And as interest in the coin grew, so did its value. Collectors began to track down these rare examples of the 1957 nickel, paying close attention to the slight variations in the design. Some of these coins showed signs of double die errors, while others had issues with the alignment of the die or the level of the strike. For example, some versions of the 1957 penny had a distorted or soft strike that made the details appear less defined, while others displayed areas of overpolished dies, which caused certain features to be more prominent than usual. These flaws, once considered imperfections, became highly prized by collectors for their uniqueness and rarity. As collectors pored over coin catalogs, auctions, and private sales, the value of the 1957D nickel began to climb. What had once been a humble coin in circulation, worth just 5 cents, was now commanding prices far higher than its original value. So, how much is a 1957D 5-cent penny worth today? Well, it's not just any old nickel. If you're fortunate enough to have a high-quality example of the 1957D with a noticeable error, or a coin that is in mint state with no visible wear, you're sitting on a potential small fortune. In fact, the most valuable examples of this coin have sold for over $178,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that correctly, $178,000. A coin that was once worth just 5 cents is now worth an astonishing sum. But how did that happen? How did a simple nickel minted in the heart of the 20th century become such a prized treasure? Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. There are only a handful of coins from the 1957D mintage that feature the rarer design flaws or minting errors that collectors are after, and finding one in pristine condition is even rarer. Imagine this for a moment. Walking into a coin shop or rummaging through a box of coins and coming across a 1957D 5-cent penny. It's easy to dismiss it as just another old coin, but if you take the time to really look at it, carefully inspecting the details and considering the coin's condition, you could be holding a rare treasure in your hand. And if you're lucky enough to have one of the high-value versions, you could be looking at a life-changing windfall. But what makes this coin even more fascinating is how it became a part of the larger world of coin collecting. For many collectors, the 1957D 5-cent penny is more than just a piece of currency. It's a symbol of the thrill of the hunt, the joy of finding something that others might overlook but that holds hidden value to those who know where to look. It's a testament to the passion of numismatists, the careful attention to detail, and the thrill of discovering a true gem. In conclusion, the 1957D 5-cent penny isn't just an ordinary coin. It's a part of American history, a reflection of the changing times of the 1950s, and a fascinating example of how small details can lead to big rewards. Its value, once just 5 cents, has ballooned to incredible heights, with the rarest specimens now worth up to $178,000. For collectors and enthusiasts alike, the 1957D is a reminder of the power of rarity and the unexpected treasures that can be hidden in plain sight. So, the next time you come across a handful of coins, take a second look. Who knows? You might just find a piece of history worth far more than you ever imagined. Now, let's pause for a moment to reflect on how this coin fits into the larger story of American numismatics. Collecting coins, especially those with errors or unique characteristics, is much more than just a hobby. It's a passion that has spanned centuries. From the earliest days of the United States Mint in the late 18th century to the modern-day auction houses where rare coins can fetch astronomical prices, numismatics has evolved into a world that celebrates both history and the artistry behind currency. When you think about it, the 1957D 5-cent penny is just one of thousands of coins that have been minted over the years. And yet it stands out. It's a reminder of how even the most seemingly ordinary objects, something you might throw into your pocket without a second thought, can carry incredible value when looked at through the lens of a collector's eye. So why do errors and subtle variations in coins matter so much? To answer this, we need to understand the importance of the minting process and how slight imperfections or unique features can dramatically increase a coin's worth. For example, consider the 1957D penny's subtle but important characteristics, flaws in the die, misalignments, or double strike marks, which make these coins far more interesting than a regular well-struck nickel. In the world of numismatics, these mistakes are far from something to be dismissed. They are often the key to discovering rare and valuable specimens. The 1957D, with its distinct errors, has earned a place among the most coveted coins for collectors who appreciate the story these imperfections tell about the minting process. For some, it's not just about owning a piece of currency, but about owning a piece of history, something that reflects a specific moment in time, both in terms of design and the circumstances surrounding its creation. Take the doubling die error, for instance. These errors occur when the coin is struck more than once, often slightly out of alignment, causing certain features to appear doubled or blurred. Such errors are fascinating because they reflect the imperfections of the manufacturing process, offering a tangible connection to a specific time in history. And in the case of the 1957D, this error, though subtle to the untrained eye, has turned into a symbol of how the smallest details can make all the difference. But let's not forget about the impact of these types of coins on the broader numismatic community. The discovery of rare mint errors or unique varieties doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time, expertise, and a passion for collecting. For those who dedicate themselves to understanding coins like the 1957D, it becomes more than just a financial pursuit. It's a way to connect with history, a form of personal storytelling, and an intellectual challenge. There's an entire world of coin collectors and numismatists who thrive on hunting down rare coins, scouring auction houses, attending conventions, poring over old coin catalogs, and connecting with other collectors. The excitement of finding that one elusive coin, whether it's a 1957D penny or another rarefied gem, is what drives many to continue searching. In fact, the online world of numismatics has only heightened this excitement, with online forums, social media groups, and specialized websites helping collectors share their discoveries, knowledge, and passion for coins like never before. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this 1957D so special compared to other coins of its time? Why did this particular batch of nickels go on to become so valuable? Well, there's something particularly compelling about the combination of rarity, error, and historical significance that has led to its rise in the world of coin collecting. In the years since its minting, the 1957D has garnered significant attention from both professional numismatists and casual collectors. The discovery of high-grade examples, those in near-mint or uncirculated condition, has made it even more desirable. These coins, in particular, are prized for their visual appeal and their historical importance. Some coins from this batch, with their sharp details and crisp imagery, have survived in pristine condition, which only adds to their allure and value. As you might expect, the value of the 1957D 5-cent penny has fluctuated over time, especially as more examples have surfaced on the market. In recent years, however, as coin collecting has experienced a resurgence, the 1957D has seen its value soar to unprecedented heights. Coins that were once considered low value, everyday currency, are now recognized as important artifacts that connect us to a particular moment in American history. There's also an element of exclusivity that comes with owning a rare coin like the 1957D. As more and more collectors seek out these highly sought-after specimens, the price continues to rise. This has led to intense competition at auctions where bidding wars can drive the price of a single coin to astronomical levels. It's not just about owning a coin, it's about owning a piece of American history, something that few people have access to and even fewer can afford. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. While the highest-selling 1957D nickels have reached that stunning $178,000 price tag, it's important to note that the value of these coins is not fixed. Factors like condition, rarity, and the presence of mint errors or unusual features all play a significant role in determining how much a particular 1957D coin is worth. A well-worn example may only fetch a modest sum, but a flawless, error-filled version could easily fetch thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. So, how do you determine if you have a valuable 1957D nickel in your possession? Well, if you happen to have one in your collection, here's a quick checklist to help you assess its potential value. Condition *, the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins that have been kept in pristine condition with minimal wear and tear will command much higher prices than those that show heavy signs of circulation. Mint errors *, look closely for minting flaws such as double dies, misalignments, or other visible errors. These imperfections are the key to unlocking the coin's true value. Rarity *, if your 1957D is one of the rarer variations, particularly one with a unique flaw, it could be worth far more than a standard coin. Provenance *, if your coin has a well-documented history or comes with a certificate of authenticity, it can also add to its value in the eyes of serious collectors. But beyond the money, there's something undeniably satisfying about owning a piece of history like the 1957D. It represents more than just a rare find, it's a connection to the past, to a time when this very coin was used by everyday people to buy everyday goods. Today, that coin is no longer just part of the economy, it's a treasured artifact, a symbol of how far we've come and how far we've yet to go. In closing, the 1957D USA 5-cent penny is a testament to the enduring appeal of coins as more than just currency. It's a piece of American history, a captivating story of how a small mistake in the minting process led to a coin that is now worth more than most people could ever imagine. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting to dip your toes into the world of numismatics, the 1957D is a reminder that even the most ordinary of objects can hold extraordinary value. And if you're lucky enough to come across one, you might just be holding a treasure worth far more than you ever thought possible. So keep your eyes open, and who knows, you might just discover the next coin that will make you a small fortune. As the 1957 5-cent penny continued to grow in popularity, its story was not just unfolding in private collections, but also in the public eye. The coin began to appear at major coin shows and auctions, where collectors from all over the world would gather, each looking for the elusive pieces that would complete their collections. These events became the stage for what would be the start of a bidding frenzy. The 1957 penny, once a humble piece of currency, became one of the most talked about coins among collectors. What makes this process of collecting so interesting is how it reflects the passion and dedication that many numismatists have for the hobby. For them, it's not just about the financial aspect, it's about the joy of discovery. When you're a coin collector, each coin is like a small puzzle. Each one tells a story, offering clues into the past. Whether it's a small minting flaw, a rare die variety, or even the history of the people who used the coin. And for the 1957 it's no different. The errors that make the coin so valuable weren't seen as mistakes when the coins were originally struck. They were simply part of the minting process, unnoticed by the public until much later. Over the years, as coin collectors became more focused on identifying mint errors and varieties, the 1957 took on a new life. The discovery of an error coin can be an exciting moment, often likened to finding a hidden gem. It's these tiny anomalies, these imperfections, that often make a coin special. For the 1957 the small imperfections in the design became a symbol of its rarity. This is a key element of why coin collecting is such a fascinating pursuit. What one person might view as a mistake or flaw, a coin collector might see as a once-in-a-lifetime find point. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1957 penny is how its value has steadily increased over time. Initially, in the years immediately following its release, the coin circulated like any other nickel. However, as awareness of its unique features grew, collectors began to seek out specific examples of the 1957 with the double die errors or unusual minting flaws. Once they were identified, these errors became highly sought after. But the true breakthrough for the coin came when a pristine, error-free version was found, one in such perfect condition that it immediately gained national attention. News of this discovery spread quickly through the numismatic community, and soon enough, coin experts and collectors alike began to pay attention. The race was on to find the next perfect 1957 penny. Now, you may be wondering, how can a single penny, something that was once so commonplace, become so highly valued? What exactly is it that makes one 1957 5-cent penny worth far more than others, even when they come from the same year and mint? The answer lies in the concept of numismatic grade, a term that refers to the overall condition and appearance of a coin. A coin that has been kept in excellent condition, with minimal wear and no visible damage, is considered to be in a higher grade. For the 1957 penny, examples that have been preserved in uncirculated condition, with their details sharp and their surfaces free from scratches, are prized by collectors. But it's not just about the condition. It's about rarity and the factors that make this particular coin stand out from the rest. In the world of coin collecting, the value of a coin is determined by a combination of several factors. The first is rarity. The fewer coins that exist in circulation, the higher their potential value. Second, the condition is key. How well the coin has been preserved can make all the difference. And finally, the presence of mint errors or unique features, like the double die or die misalignment, will increase the coin's value even further. For the 1957 it's these very qualities, rarity, condition, and unique characteristics, that have made it so desirable. And this desire has only increased as more and more collectors have sought out these coins. As the price for certain examples of the 1957 has reached eye-popping numbers, it's clear that the coin has become a must-have for serious collectors. At the same time, the rising value of the 1957 has added an element of competition to the world of numismatics. As news of the coin's impressive value spread, more people started to look for their own 1957 pennies, hoping to cash in on the boom. This increased demand led to higher prices, which in turn attracted more collectors and investors to the market. However, Despite the increase in interest, high-grade examples of the 1957D remain rare. The fact that only a small number of error-filled coins from this batch still exist in such excellent condition has only contributed to their elevated status. The 1957D has become a coin that not only represents an important chapter in American history, but also acts as a symbol of the passion and dedication of coin collectors. Coin collectors aren't the only ones who found the 1957D to be valuable, though. Auction houses have played a significant role in elevating the status of the coin. Over the years, various examples of the 1957D 5-cent penny have been auctioned off for amounts that defy logic. The record-setting sale of one such coin at $178,000 sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, and that's when things really started to change for the 1957D. Suddenly, the penny that most people would have thrown into their spare change jar became a goldmine for those lucky enough to find one. And it wasn't just professional collectors who were taking notice of the 1957D penny. With the rise of online auction platforms like eBay and specialized numismatic websites, more and more casual collectors found themselves hunting for the coin. This democratization of coin collecting made it easier than ever for people from all walks of life to get involved. You didn't need to be a high-profile numismatist to appreciate the value of a coin like the 1957D. This new wave of interest brought a fresh energy to the world of coins. Suddenly, coins like the 1957D became the focal point of online forums, discussion groups, and social media pages. Collectors from around the world began to share tips, strategies, and, most importantly, discoveries. Some of the most passionate coin enthusiasts started to scour coin rolls, garage sales, and even their own coin jars, hoping to find a hidden gem that could rival the legendary 1957D. And while the 1957D's value has reached stunning heights, there's something else to consider as well: the ripple effect it has had on the broader coin market. The rising demand for the 1957D has led to a greater appreciation for other nickels, as well as a wider range of other American coins from the 1950s and earlier. With more collectors focusing on vintage coins and rare finds, the market for coins from the mid-20th century has never been stronger. To give you a sense of the broader impact, think about how coins from other years, like the 1940s or 1960s, have similarly seen an increase in value as collectors pay more attention to variations in minting, errors, and historical context. The 1957D's rise has helped shape the modern coin collecting landscape, inspiring a new generation of collectors to dive into the world of numismatics. For those who dream of finding their own treasure, it's important to note that coin collecting isn't just about luck. It's about learning, exploring, and understanding the rich history behind each coin. The 1957D, with its intriguing backstory and value, is just one example of how deep this hobby can go. It's a journey into history, art, and finance, all wrapped up in a tiny, metal disc. So, whether you're an experienced collector or someone just getting started, remember that every coin holds potential. With patience, knowledge, and a bit of luck, you just might discover the next rare find, one that could become the 1957D of tomorrow. Let's travel back in time to the year 1958, a pivotal year for both American history and coinage. As the United States was in the midst of a transformative period navigating the height of the Cold War and the beginning of the post-war economic boom, something seemingly simple was also unfolding. Something that would later turn into a highly coveted and valuable collectible, the 1958 USA 5-cent penny. Now, you may be asking yourself, why does the 1958 penny matter? After all, it's just another coin in the long history of United States currency. But, as we'll see, this seemingly ordinary penny carries with it a story that stretches far beyond its humble beginnings in the mint. It's a journey that encompasses history, design, minting flaws, and an ever-growing collector interest that would eventually lead to a remarkable value. To understand why this penny is so fascinating, we first need to explore its historical context. The year 1958 wasn't just significant for the country's economy and political landscape, it was a key time for the U.S. Mint, too. The 1950s saw several coinage changes in America as the U.S. economy transitioned into the post-war era. In 1958, the United States was deep into the Cold War, the threat of nuclear warfare was ever-present, and American society was embracing new technological advances and cultural shifts. Amidst these significant changes, coins like the 1958 5-cent penny were being struck and circulated in everyday commerce. The 1958 penny was minted at a time when America was facing major economic changes. During the 1950s, the United States enjoyed a post-war economic boom. There was a surge in consumerism and people had more disposable income to spend on everything from cars to household goods. The penny, in particular, played a crucial role in this era. While inflation was slowly starting to creep up, the 5-cent piece remained a fundamental unit of currency. Interestingly, the 1958 penny was part of a much larger batch of coins that included quarters, dimes, and nickels. The 1958 penny, along with other denominations, was struck in large numbers, which is one of the reasons why, in the grand scheme of things, the 1958 5-cent penny is generally not considered rare or difficult to find. However, that doesn't mean it didn't have a lasting impact, it just took time for collectors to begin noticing its unique qualities. Before we dive into the rarity and collector appeal of the 1958 penny, let's talk about its design. The design of this particular coin is part of what makes it so special. The 1958 5-cent penny, like its predecessors, features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. This portrait, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has graced the penny since 1909. It's a design that has become iconic, representing both the legacy of one of the greatest American presidents and the continuity of U.S. coinage. However, the reverse of the 1958 penny features a slight difference from the previous years. As part of an ongoing tradition, the reverse side of the penny continued to showcase the two wheat stalks that symbolize the nation's agricultural roots. But what makes the 1958 version unique is that it would be the last year the wheatback design would appear on the penny. The U.S. Mint would soon transition to a new design that would feature the Lincoln Memorial, a change that would begin in 1959. Thus, the 1958 penny marks the final year of the iconic wheat design, making it a symbolic piece for collectors, but it's not just the design that makes this penny worth noting. The minting process behind the 1958 penny also contributed to its appeal in the world of numismatics. The U.S. Mint at the time was still using older methods for producing coins, which meant that some minor imperfections occurred during production. These imperfections would become the focal point for many collectors in the years to come. Over time, as the hobby of coin collecting became more popular, numismatists began to notice small variations in the minting of coins like the 1958 penny. In particular, certain coins from 1958 displayed strange minting errors such as die cracks, double strikes, or unusual wear patterns that were indicative of flaws in the minting process. These flaws, once seen as defects, would later become prized by collectors. One such flaw was the wheat design anomaly, which caused certain 1958 pennies to appear slightly different from others. Some of these pennies had a more pronounced wheat stalk design, while others were struck with a slight misalignment that led to unusual die clashes on the coin's surface. These imperfections are exactly what drew collectors' attention to the 1958 penny and helped elevate its status as a sought-after piece in the world of numismatics. Another significant aspect of the 1958 5-cent penny is its historical place in the development of coin collecting in the United States. Coin collectors have always had a fascination with rarities, coins that don't fit into the mold of everyday circulation. As collectors started to study and catalog these flaws in coins from the 1950s, the 1958 penny became one of the most interesting coins of the era. While there were certainly more rare and valuable coins, the 1958 penny, especially in high-quality mint state, gradually gained traction as a valuable piece of American history. What made the 1958 penny even more intriguing was the growing interest in error coins. As collectors began to educate themselves on the process of minting and the factors that contributed to mint errors, they realized that coins with slight imperfections were often more valuable than their perfect counterparts. The 1958 penny was a perfect example of how something that appeared to be a flaw could, in fact, be a rare treasure. Now, let's talk about the increasing appeal of the 1958 penny among collectors. As interest in coin collecting surged, particularly in the 1970s and 1980s, the value of specific coins began to rise significantly. The 1958 penny, which had initially been seen as just another post-war coin, began to take on new significance. The combination of its historical context, unique design, and occasional minting errors made it a highly desirable coin among serious numismatists. And it wasn't just the errors or flaws that appealed to collectors, it was also the fact that the 1958 penny was the last of its kind, marking the end of an era for U.S. coinage. As the years went by, the rarity of high quality, well-preserved 1958 pennies began to increase. Coins that were once widely available in circulation started to disappear from the hands of the public. People began to hold onto their 1958 pennies, realizing that they could be worth something more than just face value. The combination of scarcity and growing collector demand only fueled the coin's rise in value. Today, the 1958 USA 5-cent penny is a sought-after piece for collectors looking to complete their Lincoln wheat cent collections. Though not as rare as other coins from earlier years, the 1958 penny remains a valuable piece of American numismatic history. Its value, especially for specimens in excellent condition or those with unique minting errors, has continued to rise steadily. In fact, some of the finest examples of the 1958 penny have fetched impressive sums at auction, with one example recently selling for as much as $176,000. So why has the 1958 penny risen to such heights? It all comes down to the rarity, condition, and the historical significance of the coin. The 1958 penny, with its unique place in the timeline of U.S. coinage, is a piece of history that captures the imagination of both new collectors and seasoned numismatists. Whether it's the end of the wheat design or the subtle imperfections in the minting process, the 1958 penny tells a story that has resonated with collectors for decades. If you happen to come across a 1958 penny in your own collection or while sifting through your spare change, take a moment to appreciate it for what it represents. While most may see it as just another coin, for collectors it's a treasure, a piece of history, artistry, and numismatic significance. And who knows? If it's in pristine condition, you might just have a valuable piece of American history on your hands, one that could be worth far more than its face value. In the world of coin collecting, it's always about more than just the money, it's about the hunt, the discovery, and the stories that these coins tell. And for the 1958 USA 5-cent penny, its story is far from over. Its value continues to rise, its legacy grows stronger, and its place in the hearts of collectors remains undeniable. As we look back on the impact of the 1958 penny, we begin to see how the world of coin collecting has evolved and how this unassuming piece of history has become a shining star in the numismatic universe. Over the years, the demand for high-grade examples of the 1958 penny has surged, and this surge has mirrored the growing popularity of coin collecting as a hobby and investment. What was once a pastime for a small group of enthusiasts has exploded into a global phenomenon, with people from all walks of life searching for their own piece of history, whether it's an old penny found in a jar, a coin discovered at a flea market, or a rare find at a coin show. The rise of the internet has been a game-changer for coin collectors and has brought the 1958 penny into the digital spotlight. Online platforms like eBay, numismatic auction sites, and coin-collecting forums have become vibrant hubs where collectors trade, buy, and sell rare coins. These online platforms have made it easier for collectors to find information, share discoveries, and, most importantly, auction off their most prized possessions to the highest bidder. And that's where the excitement around the 1958 penny has really taken off. In recent years, the penny has fetched significant sums at auction, and even coins with slight imperfections have gained attention for their historical value and connection to this pivotal moment in American numismatic history. Whether it's the end of the wheat design or the subtle die variations, every detail of the 1958 penny has made it an irresistible piece for collectors who are keen to get their hands on a high-quality specimen. The power of the 1958 penny's allure can be seen in the dramatic prices it commands at auction. As collectors gain a deeper understanding of the coin's significance, both as an artistic object and as a collectible, the bidding wars have intensified. In fact, some pristine, high-grade examples of the 1958 penny have set auction records, with one particularly flawless specimen recently selling for a jaw-dropping $176,000. This astronomical price has sparked conversations in numismatic circles and among coin enthusiasts around the world. So, what makes this 1958 penny so valuable? For some, it's the rarity of a coin in such excellent condition. For others, it's the unique combination of historical relevance, design elements, and minting anomalies. Whatever the reason, it's clear that the 1958 penny holds an important place in the world of numismatics. And the collectors who have spent decades searching for this gem are seeing their efforts rewarded in ways they could have only imagined when they first set out on their coin-collecting journey. beyond the world of auctions and private sales. The 1958 penny has also become a part of pop culture. As the coin continues to rise in value, it has been referenced in books, documentaries, and other media. People who are new to coin collecting often cite the 1958 penny as one of the first examples of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become extraordinary. The penny represents the perfect marriage between historical interest and financial investment, and as more people become familiar with its story, the more it resonates with a broader audience. It's also worth noting that the increased interest in the 1958 penny reflects a larger trend in numismatics, the increasing fascination with coins from the mid-20th century. For decades, collectors focused primarily on coins from the 19th century or earlier, seeking out the rarest pieces that could fetch the highest prices. However, in recent years, there's been a noticeable shift in attention to mid-century coins, particularly those from the 1940s, 1950s, and even the 1960s. The 1958 penny, as one of the last coins to feature the wheat design, stands at the forefront of this movement, leading the charge as a bridge between old and new in the world of coin collecting. This trend is also tied to the nostalgia that surrounds the 1950s. For many people, this was a time when life seemed simpler, when the country was recovering from the hardships of World War II and embracing new technologies and cultural shifts. The 1958 penny, in its way, encapsulates that moment in history. It's a reminder of a time when things were changing, but also a time when certain things, like the design of a penny, stayed the same. It was a transitional year for the U.S. Mint, marking the end of the wheat design and the beginning of the Lincoln Memorial reverse, which would come to define the penny for the next several decades. Another factor driving the 1958 penny's popularity is the growing emphasis on the condition of coins. As more collectors have become educated on grading systems like the 1:70 scale used by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC) and the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS), the importance of coin preservation has taken center stage. A coin that has been well maintained over the years, free from scratches, discoloration, and damage, is much more valuable than one that has been heavily worn or mishandled. The 1958 penny, in particular, is sought after in higher grades, where even the smallest imperfections can make a significant difference in its value for collectors and investors alike. The idea of finding a rare coin in exceptional condition is exhilarating. The thrill of the hunt, the excitement of discovering a rare piece that others might overlook, is what makes numismatics so appealing. The 1958 penny, with its rich history and subtle variations, is the perfect example of how a single coin can transform from a regular piece of currency into a coveted prize that commands attention and respect. Now, as we reflect on the journey of the 1958 penny, it's clear that its story is far from over. As long as collectors continue to seek out rare and valuable pieces, the 1958 penny will remain an iconic part of American numismatic history. The combination of rarity, historical significance, and unique design features ensures that it will continue to be a focal point for those looking to build their collections. The market for rare coins is ever-changing, and the value of the 1958 penny may continue to rise. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting out in the hobby, the 1958 penny serves as a reminder that there's always something new to discover in the world of coin collecting. As long as there are collectors with a passion for history and a keen eye for detail, the 1958 penny will remain a symbol of the fascinating journey of American coinage, and its place in the hearts of those who appreciate the beauty and rarity of these small, metal treasures. So, the next time you come across a 1958 penny in your collection or in your pocket change, take a moment to admire it. What seems like just another penny from the past could be the key to unlocking a piece of history and maybe even a valuable treasure worth far more than its face value. In the world of numismatics, the true value of a coin isn't always determined by its face value. Sometimes it's the story behind the coin that makes it truly priceless. The fascinating rise in value and significance of the 1958 penny, we begin to see a pattern emerging in the world of coin collecting. Sometimes, it's not just about rarity that makes a coin valuable. It's also about the storytelling and the connection collectors feel to a particular moment in history. The 1958 penny encapsulates an era where the country was transitioning, both politically and economically, from post-World War II recovery to the booming 60s. That shift was reflected in the coinage of the time, and the 1958 penny, with its unique position as the final wheatback cent, embodies this era of change. For those in the coin collecting community, the 1958 penny is not just a piece of metal. It's a tangible connection to the past. Each coin carries with it the weight of American history, from the political climate to the innovations happening in technology, and even to the cultural shifts that define the 1950s. In a world where technology and culture advance at lightning speed, having something so concrete, so grounded in history, becomes a bridge to understanding and appreciating the past. One of the driving forces behind the growing interest in coins like the 1958 penny is the increasing number of people who view collecting as both a hobby and an investment. While coin collecting has long been a pastime for those interested in history, craftsmanship, and art, it has also developed into a way to build wealth. The 1958 penny, with its upward trajectory in value, serves as an excellent example of how coins can be seen not only as historical artifacts, but as financial assets that grow in value over time. As more collectors and investors alike are drawn to coins that have both historical and financial significance, pieces like the 1958 penny are becoming highly sought-after commodities. The increasing interest in coin investment has also led to the rise of professional grading services, which have made it easier for collectors to assess the value of their coins. When you take a closer look at a 1958 penny, the difference between an average example and a high-grade specimen can be astounding. The investment potential of these coins cannot be understated. For those with pristine, uncirculated specimens, the payoff can be significant. As we've seen in recent years, coins with perfect grades or slight minting anomalies, such as double strikes or die errors, are fetching more and more money, as their rarity and appeal to collectors continue to drive up demand. And with the ever-growing popularity of numismatics, it's easy to see why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these coins. The sense of accomplishment that comes with owning a coin like the 1958 penny, especially one in superb condition, is immeasurable. Whether it's a piece of American history or an investment for the future, each coin has its own unique story. And when that story resonates with collectors, the value of a single coin can skyrocket. As you might imagine, the market for rare and valuable coins is incredibly dynamic. The 1958 penny, though historically significant, is just one example of how the world of coin collecting is constantly evolving. The rise in popularity of specific coins can sometimes happen suddenly, sparked by a new discovery, a surge in interest, or even a viral moment that captures the attention of the public. As more people get involved in the hobby, the market grows and shifts, which can result in once obscure coins gaining considerable value. Interestingly, the 1958 penny's rise in value mirrors the broader growth of the coin collecting community. What was once considered a niche hobby has now blossomed into a multi-billion-dollar industry. The influx of new collectors, especially younger generations who are drawn to the idea of preserving history while also securing financial stability, has injected new energy into the market. The internet has played a significant role in making coin collecting more accessible than ever before, with online platforms giving collectors access to an endless array of coins, from the rarest historical pieces to more recent finds like the 1958 penny. This newfound accessibility has also led to an increase in transparency. With online databases and educational resources, collectors have a wealth of information at their fingertips. They can learn more about the coins they own, what makes them special, and how to properly care for them to maintain their value. The 1958 penny, with its specific design and minting history, is an excellent case study for new collectors looking to understand the nuances of coin collecting and the factors that contribute to a coin's value. Beyond the financial aspects, there's also a deep sense of pride that comes with owning a piece of history. The 1958 penny, with its distinctive wheat stalk design, represents an era when the country was on the cusp of great change. For many collectors, this penny is not just a way to preserve the past. It's a way to connect with a period of time that shaped the American identity in profound ways. Whether it's the stories passed down through generations, the sense of nostalgia that comes with owning a piece of Americana, or the sheer beauty of the coin itself, owning a 1958 penny is something to be proud of. But even with all the attention the 1958 penny has garnered in recent years, there are still countless other examples of rare and valuable coins from the same era that have yet to reach the same level of recognition. This points to the broader trend in coin collecting. The hunt is always on. Rare coins, including certain types of pennies, nickels, and dimes, are continually being discovered in unassuming places. It's not just about knowing which coins are valuable. It's about having the eye to spot them when they appear. And that brings us to one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting, the thrill of discovery. While many collectors are content to build their collections piece by piece, others are driven by the hope of finding a hidden gem. This sense of excitement is a key part of what makes coin collecting so addictive. Every time a new coin is added to the collection, it's a small victory, and who knows, the next coin you pick up could be the one that propels you into the world of rare coin ownership, possibly even putting you in possession of a 1958 penny worth far more than its face value. The hunt for the 1958 penny and other valuable coins continues to captivate enthusiasts around the world. Whether through personal discoveries, auction house sales, or online transactions, the demand for rare coins shows no sign of slowing down. The growing number of people interested in numismatics, combined with the increasing value of coins like the 1958 penny, indicates that the hobby will continue to thrive for generations to come. So, what does the future hold for the 1958 penny? While it may not be the rarest coin in existence, its value and significance continue to rise as more collectors recognize its unique place in American coinage history. It's a symbol of a particular time and place, the end of an era that marked a turning point in the way the U.S. Mint produced coins. And for those fortunate enough to possess a high-grade example, it remains an essential piece of any serious collection. In the end, the true value of the 1958 penny is not just about the money. It's about the history, the artistry, and the story it tells. As with any great collectible, it transcends its monetary worth and becomes a tangible piece of history, a link to a moment in time that shaped the nation and the world. And for collectors, that connection is priceless.